Hello and welcome everyone to Quick Album Reviews. I'm the Storm CJ Middle, and today I'm gathering over Stormcrowfleet by Skepticism. I keep wanting to say Stormcrowfleet, but I know it's fleet, not feet. Anyways, I tried looking up what Stormcrowfleet means, but I couldn't find anything, so if anyone knows what that means, let me know down in the comments below. For those who don't know, Skepticism is one of the pioneers of the awesome subgenre known as funeral doom metal. When you listen to early funeral doom albums, they sound different than today's funeral doom albums. The biggest difference, at least that I've noticed, is that earlier albums were rather minimal in their approach, and modern albums tend to have more layers, I guess is the best way to say it. Being that this is an earlier funeral doom album is, of course, minimal in its approach. Released in 1995, Stormcrowfleet actually sounds like the music of a funeral. I've listened to my fair share of funeral doom albums, but none of them have actually ever sounded like a funeral. And a lot of bands I've heard have gone down that path of that kind of lonely and sorrow kind of sadness, but this album really just elevated the gloom factor. I mean, the entire time I felt like I was standing at a funeral in the rain. It is pretty amazing, though, how bands can make such emotional and atmospheric music so minimally. I mean, there's only a guitar, vocals, keyboard/organ, and drums on this album, literally nothing else. I mean, the vocals are your typical little growls. The guitar tone is pretty lo-fi sounding. The keyboard and organ drenches you in gloominess, and the drums even contribute to the atmosphere as well, while also adding some added thickness or heaviness. While you could color me impressed, this album isn't without its flaws. The production quality isn't the best. I mean, it's not terrible, but it could have been better. But at the same time, I'm also thinking anytime a new subgenre or genre, I guess, pops up, I know producers don't always know what to emphasize, what to tone down, because, it's relatively new and there hasn't been any experimentation with it and things like that. So I'm kind of on the fence about whether or not that's a pass or a deduction, if you know what I mean. I don't know. But anyways, moving on. The other thing is the amount of repetition that goes on this album. I know Funeral Doom has its fair share of droning, but on here I thought some parts were dragged out a bit too far. Not to the point where I would skip to the next song, but to the point where it's just like, all right, come on, let's move on to the next part here. So, I mean, it's got some minor flaws, but it was still a great album. And if you're a fan of Funeral Doom, then I recommend checking out this album if you already haven't. And I want to thank, I'm probably going to say your name wrong, I'm sorry, Kishak Chi, for recommending this album. Sorry if I said your name wrong again. I'm really bad with names, but you would think after working at Starbucks for 4 years I would know how to say names, but you would be wrong. Anyways, thank you all for listening. Sorry if this recording sounds a bit different. I'm in my car now in a parking lot. Just dropped my dad off at the doctor's, but holy shit, does quarantine suck. I mean, is there any country not in quarantine right now? Is Iceland or Greenland in quarantine? You never hear about them in the news. So, maybe not. Maybe you should move to Iceland or Greenland. Decisions. But anyways, the positive side of this quarantine, though, is that I've been able to listen to more albums, so hopefully I'll have more reviews coming out this week, because I have nothing better to do. But until then, I will see you all at the next review.